All right, y'all, it's time for Saint Immortalizer once again, this time on vinyl. I got my copy yesterday. We'll take a look at it coming right up. Stay where you are. Hey there, y'all. Welcome back to another Tim Talks Christian Rock. Tim Risto here. Hope you're having a great day today, and thank you so much for joining me. I really am glad that you chose to make this video the one to watch today and make it part of your day. Thanks so much for that, and may God bless your day going forward from here. If you like what I'm doing here, give this video a like. Please subscribe. Turn those bell notifications on. It is all greatly appreciated. All right, let's get on with it. As most of you great Saint fans know, Saint released their 13th and latest album a few months ago called Immortalizer. They released it on CD with the promise of a forthcoming vinyl release, and that day is here. I received my vinyl yesterday in the mail, dropped off at my doorstep, broke into the package, listened to it, and it's great. I mean, what can I say? It just reinforces my love for this album. If you haven't caught my album review of Immortalizer, check it out. I'll put a link in the description down below, but it is a phenomenal album. Most definitely one of my favorite Saint albums of all time. Just a great, great effort. As I've mentioned before, their last three albums, including this one, are just great. I mean, they are on an incredible run, kind of the way Stryper has been over the last 10 years or so. Saint has just been in a great run of albums, too, with this quote-unquote new Saint lineup. You know, it really isn't new anymore. This is Saint. And we'll take a look at the band lineup as well, too, here in a moment. But Saint released Immortalizer, like I said, a few months ago, right before they performed at Immortal Fest, of all things. And it's just been on steady rotation here at my house and on my CD player and on my phone and just on my turntable now. It will be on regular rotation as well. Great, great album. If you haven't picked it up yet, go get this album. It's great. Saint still has vinyl on their website. There are a limited number of copies. I believe it's about 200. I'll double check that and put the proper number in the description down below, but I think there are 200 vinyl copies available through saintsite.com. But anyway, on to the vinyl itself. Here it is, Saint Immortalizer on vinyl in all its great full-size cover art glory. Let's talk about this cover art for a minute. It's got, of course, the classic Saint logo on it, which I love, just nice and bold. That great red color stands out against this space sky background. And that title, Immortalizer, which, of course, is a reference to the immortal one himself, Jesus Christ, who, because he came and redeemed the world, we can then be immortal ourselves, can have eternal life with him in heaven. So a great, great title. And the cover art, which they've always had some great cover art. And again, their last three have been really good. I loved the cover art for the calf, which of course was all about idols and had the big golden calf on the front, basically. And we talked about that in other videos too, but the gold coloring of the vinyl, the golden vinyl they had with that was just appropriate. That was a neat addition that I still is one of my favorite vinyl releases that Saint has put out, just in terms of packaging as well as themes and all that. But this one's very cool as well. And, you know, it's got the earth in the background, another earth here in the foreground, and then, of course, the crown of thorns surrounding this earth here in the foreground. So, you know, I think in terms of meaning, there's probably, you know, a little room for interpretation, but largely, you know, you've got the earth at creation, and you've got the new earth here, which has been redeemed, being surrounded by Christ's crown of thorns. So when Christ went to the cross, redeemed the earth, then you have, you know, the old earth shall pass away, and the new earth coming forward that's been redeemed by Christ, and the new earth that will proceed forward on Judgment Day. Now, that's a very Revelation style imagery, which is, of course, very common for Saint. And that actually reference comes out of, I had to look this up again quick, but from Revelation 21, here it says, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away.'" That's the first 4 verses of Revelation 21. So I think that's really, part of what this imagery represents. Again, Saint has been always very Revelation themed, very kind of end times themed band. Apocalyptic metal, as they call themselves, I think. So this is appropriate imagery. But it's also got, a very soothing meaning to it, a very hopeful meaning to it. Again, with that crown of thorns, which is such a brutal instrument of torture. But yet it is through that Christ came to redeem us, and the new earth is here. So again, kind of the past sinful life, you could say, there, and the new life with God in heaven is represented by the symbolism of the new earth and all that came in the vision to John in the book of Revelation. So I love the cover art. Great imagery, great stuff. And again, having it in vinyl in its full glory, large cover art is awesome. The back of the cover, vinyl edition here, is, of course, very much like the CD back. This great photo with the band in kind of this high-tech setting. And then the imagery from the front cover art kind of replicated, although a little bit different here behind them. You can see the moon there. We got the track listing down here. And then one of my favorite things, actually, on here is, of course, they've got the copyright here. And unauthorized reproduction of this recording is a violation of federal law. And the beautiful thing here is they add the little Exodus 20:15 verse, "You shall not steal," from the 10 Commandments on there. I love that. Nice touch. I should mention as well, this has been released by Armor Records, which is Saint's self kind of published record label, Richard Lynch's label. So I believe the Calf they had released this way as well. Then I think their previous album, Heaven Fell, they went through, I think, Retroactive, probably in conjunction with Armor, their label. Maybe used Retroactive for additional distribution. Not exactly sure the deals of that, but I know that they were part of that. And now they're back to just Armor Records again. Although I think this is available through Boone's Overstock as well. But just to mention, support the band, buy this vinyl, and buy stuff through Saint if possible to help support them. I think the proceeds from the purchase of vinyl and CDs help support their touring costs and production costs and things like that. So good thing to always do. But kind of neat to see, the band on the back cover in fuller glory too. The CD is kind of small, by comparison. So I do love having the full-size cover art. This would actually make kind of a cool poster, actually, too, a band poster, if they ever put something like that out. But there you go. There's the cover art. The insert that comes with it, of course, lists all of the lyrics on one side. I have not read through these while listening to the vinyl yet. I'll probably do so tonight, see if I catch any, typos or whatever. Not that you can do anything about it, but from just kind of briefly glancing over them, they seem to be all in good order. And I love this little attention to detail here. This little blood drop, which of course representative of Christ's blood. And if you can see it, here if I can get a good picture of it, you see the reflection of the blood on the blood drop has Jesus' cross in it, which I just think is a really cool touch. Reminds me a lot of Bloodgood's debut album, the cover art, which of course has a very similar imagery as this. And not that they were the first to use it either. You know, it's imagery that's been around for a while, but it's just very cool, and I love to see that make an appearance here on the Saint album graphic work as well. It was in the CD too. I think it was in the booklet, CD booklet, where they had this blood drop with the cross reflected in it, but next to the crown of thorns, somewhere in there. So just a slightly different there. Flip side of the insert, which, by the way, this is a nice, sturdy cardboard insert. It's actually really good quality, glossy printing. It's very nicely done, so I really like that. But on this side, you've got this great Saint lineup, the band lineup, which has been intact here for 4 albums, except for Dave Nelson, who wasn't vocalist for, I think it was Broad as the Gate. But otherwise, this lineup has been intact for this specific lineup fully for 3 albums, but minus Nelson for 4. But anyway, you have Dave Nelson on vocals, great vocalist. I've mentioned it before. Again, no disrespect to the former vocalist whose name escapes me now. Josh Kramer. Man, how could I forget that? No disrespect to Josh Kramer, but I love Dave Nelson, and this is Saint. This lineup is Saint. You've also got Matt Smith here on guitars. Phenomenal guitarist, and also heavily involved in writing music and I believe lyrics as well for these more recent albums, and this one in particular. Jared Noland on drums, who's also heavily involved in the post-production process and the mixing. Jerry Johnson on guitars as well, and of course the legendary Richard Lynch on bass. These are great photos. Some of these I think are by, the Chad Fenner from Concert Photos, who does incredible work as well. In addition, additional guitars, bass, and arrangements by Jared Nolan. So he's done a lot. In addition to all the post-production work and drum work, he's done all those things. And then orchestration and piano by Jerry Johnson as well. So again, this lineup, this is like a full band effort on so many levels. These guys are all involved intricately with Saint, and it really feels more like, these last 3 albums really feel like full band efforts on a number of levels, and that's really cool to see. I think it's helped give Richard Lynch a bit of a break. He can not necessarily sit in the background, but kind of rest on his laurels a little bit more. Many of these songs are written by Smith and Nelson, and then you've got Lynch on a few, and you've got Noland on some as well too. So, but by and large, Smith and Nelson, so Dave Nelson, the vocalist, and Matt Smith, the guitars, are heavily involved in the writing of the material. And again, it shows. It's just got a fresh approach, but still sounds like Saint and still fits in with the Saint discography. Good stuff. But anyway, nice insert. I really like this. Okay, onto the vinyl itself. It comes in a white paper sleeve, no polyurethane. And here is the vinyl itself, Immortalizer. Very nice black vinyl edition. And it looks good, feels sturdy. I don't think this is 180 gram vinyl, but it is a nice sturdy edition. Trying to see here if it says, I don't think it actually says side A or side B. So you kind of got to guess maybe on that. But the label is nice. Again, kind of a mirror of the cover art with the Great Saint logo and the cover art graphic on there. But it's just a nice edition. Feels good to just hold in the hand. It's really good, sturdy vinyl, nicely produced edition. So I dropped this album on the turntable last night after I opened it up and got it and checked it out. And it just sounds really good. I'm very impressed with the sound of this vinyl. It's clear, it's clean, it's loud. I don't detect any surface noise on it. It's just got a very clean sound to it. I could really tell, especially on track 3, My Cemetery, where, it's got that kind of acoustic guitar start and the symphony there. It's got a softer, quieter intro to it, and then you've got Nelson's vocals that come in. It's especially there where you hear Nelson's vocals. It's just clean sounding. It's very clear, audio, and I love it. Again, it's during that part, during the quieter part, you can tell there's just no surface noise. It's very, very good, at least on my system. A little bit more on the lower end. It comes across well, like it doesn't have a high trebly or high end that kind of makes it sound too tinny or anything like that. It's got a little better. It airs a little bit towards the lower end side, which of course I really like with this heavier sound of what Saint produces in their music. So it's just a good sounding album, good mastering job, mixing job by Noland and the whole band. Their musical efforts, the instruments just come across cleanly and clearly. Really good job on this vinyl release. I love it. There's just nothing to hate about it, quite frankly. Again, the cover art's great. In fact, one other thing here, I just noticed this last night as well, seeing it on this large blown up, front cover art here. You see this little thing here, and I'm not sure about this, whether it's just a reflection on the earth there, the sun reflecting on that part of the earth. It's supposed to be that, or whether that represents the start of war, like a nuclear war or something like that. I don't want to read too much into that, but I'm just kind of curious if anybody noticed that, thought anything about that. It just caught my eye seeing it full like this, where it didn't stand out for me as much on the CD. Sorry about all the reflections here, but seeing it in the on the vinyl here blown up really big, I happened to notice that more. Again, maybe I'm overthinking that, especially if this is supposed to represent the new Earth. Why would there be a nuclear war going on there? So again, maybe it's just a reflection of the sun, being that, of course, we've got the space point of view. But anyway, I did notice that. I'm kind of curious about that. One other thing I'll mention, just in comparison to the CD, showed this earlier, but there is this graphic, band photo in the tray, which has the band members standing there all around, the hillside with the open tomb, Jesus open tomb, which I think is really a neat graphic as well. That is not anywhere in the vinyl, so you don't get that, which frankly that would make another cool poster too, band poster. So if they ever did a series of band posters, they could do the back cover art. Let me get the vinyl. They could do the back cover art, which would be a good poster. The front cover art too would be a good poster, of course, and then that tray picture would be kind of interesting as a band poster too. But anyway, interesting stuff. Love this vinyl release. If you don't have it, I'd highly recommend picking it up. Go to saintsite.com. It's, I believe, for $30 there. That includes shipping, so it's a great deal. This is a nice release. I really love it. Love the album, of course, but also love this vinyl release. It's a very good one. There's nothing to complain about it at all. Immortalizer is spelled correctly, which of course on the CD release that I have it is not. It's Immortalizer there, but it is spelled correctly here, that's a good thing, of course. And it's just a beautiful vinyl release. Again, nothing overtly special about it as a package per se. It's a black vinyl release. It's got a paper sleeve, cardboard cover, and the insert, I think, again, is really nice. I think that's produced really well. But otherwise, it's all pretty standard materials as far as that goes. But it's just a nice, clean presentation of it, and the vinyl itself sounds really good. So $30, this is a great deal, and it's a great album. If you're a vinyl head, pick this one up. It's really very, very good. So anyway, y'all, that's what I got today. Just wanted to show off my Saint vinyl. What do y'all think? Have you listened to the album? And if you've received your vinyl copy, what do you think of it? I just think it's a great edition, great piece of vinyl. And with Saint, you can't go wrong. The only Saint album I don't have on vinyl at this point, I believe, is Hellblade. So I'm still hoping they'll re-release that at some point on vinyl. But you know, I got Immortalizer to keep me happy right now on vinyl, so it's a good thing. Anyway, feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think of the album. If you have this album on vinyl, let me know what you think of that. All comments are happily welcome. So, all right, y'all. That's all I got for today. Go out and have yourself a great day. Listen to some Saint Immortalizer today, and just have a great rest of your day. Remember, above all else, stay in God's Word. That's all I got. See you next time, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.